Okay.
Yeah.
So today, again, we start to, as a basic, let us example, I want to process 5 element, yeah, 10 element, yeah, 2 object, yeah, 10 object, yeah, 100 object. So whenever I am going to process or add, yeah, multiplications or calculation, anything on a particular set of numbers, then first we have to give those set of number in our system, right? So
That's
let us,
when
I
you like.
want to,
That's
yeah,
when you like to say as an entry.
yeah, as
Okay.
entry. How, I want to process the sum of a 4 number. Okay. The first things we have to set 4 number in the computer as an input, right?
True. Yeah.
Then after that we can start processing like let's int 4 number. So generally basic way I have to create 4 variable like let's a1 equal to 10, right?
Right.
Like int b1 b2,
Yeah.
int
Yeah.
a2 equal to 20,
Okay.
like int a3
3.
like 30,
Uh.
int a4 equal to 40, right? Look
Okay.
like this.
Uh-huh.
This is the simple way. Now uh, now if I give this 10 number, 4 number, example of 4, then I can start to sum all these 4 number, right? I
Right.
want to sum, so I say int sum
1 is equal to
a1
a1
a1 plus
a2
a2 plus
a3
a3 plus a4.
4.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is the basic way. And now we can say
System
s out. What is the sum?
Integer sum. Yeah.
So in this way, so here we are doing multiple things. First, we have a collections of, now this is the set of integer number, right?
Right.
Now we have 4 set of number.
Right.
And now after that, I am getting all 4 numbers and just summing them and returning the result, right?
Right.
Okay. So look like this is the very simple, this is a good way. Okay. But now I am going to process 1000 number.
Oh, that's huge. Yeah.
It is not very hard. We can declare 1000 variable. That's so hard. Why not declare one and just pass the set of value?
Right.
So for this, we have already studied if similar kind of value you have a set multiple, then we can use the data structure int array, right?
Right.
So have already understand, oh, this is the multiple value at the same type. Like this is also integer, this is also integer, this is also integer. Why you are declaring multiple times? Why not declare one time, right?
Right.
So say I am going to declare in using the array, right? This is the array.
Right.
Oh, numbers array.
Right.
Numbers array. And here say in this array I am going to put 4 element, right? So now first you declare array. I am going to create one array. Array is they can hold multiple number. This integer variable 1 can hold one value, right? Here we cannot write 12 comma 30, right?
Right. No.
Because this is int one variable one value hold. Now this is a array of integer numbers. Means now these numbers can hold multiple value. So here I can say, okay, now already know integer array start from the indexing 0, right? So I can pass 10, again I can pass 20, right? I can pass 30
for the different,
and I can pass 40. Okay, so this is the different way. Now we are not declaring multiple variable, right? We are declaring only one variable array and storing all the value, right? And if you want to sum, so generally we are saying I am going to write for loop integer, all things we already know, equal to 0 semicolon I less than whatever our number's length, right? Semicolon I plus plus. And here say we have a int some variable, okay?
Yeah.
And here say sum equal to sum plus whatever the numbers of the first the 0 position, then 1 position, then I position, right?
Right.
and then after that say is sum.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the another way, right? So
Right.
here, instead of same thing we can achieve from the originally multiple variables. Now
Right.
we can same thing we can achieve from the just one variable, right?
100%. 100%.
This is the one, this is the array data structure we are using, right?
Yeah.
And also one concise way, even we can write this array. This is the one way to array declare initialization. Sometime this value already I know, so we can
Yes.
use the like uh, same thing here in the different way, like a integer array. Let's sorry, int array. Let's give numbers. Okay,
Right.
and numbers. Let's one equal to. You already know these are the four value, so you can
Yeah. Yeah.
directly pass here as a four
Mm-hmm.
value as well as
Right.
like
Right.
10, 20, 30, and
Uh-huh.
40. Okay,
Right. Right.
already I know this is the four value, and similarly we can sum them.
Right.
And this is the one for loop as a index. Another for loop also we know like a for each, like here let's key your sum
Mm-hmm.
initially 0, and here say I have one element, a number. Okay, and here this numbers. This is the all the numbers I am getting 111, and just summing sum 2 equal to sum 2 plus your number, whatever the number. This is the another way, the same things. Okay,
Right.
so even this is the multiple variable declare and some get the output. Here say I am just know this is a four element, I can declare array of four and put all the four value and loop
And then
from
initial.
1 to length and sum all the.
Right.
Similarly, we have already, if you already know this is a different way also, you can pass all the values in the initial, right?
Right.
And set the number.
Mm-hmm.
This, so this way, generally here we are working as a set of numbers. Yeah, collections of number, right? Collections of
Mm-hmm.
object. So
Mm-hmm.
generally this array data structure are we know how to use, right? So this array have a, let's say I want to add some number here, right? Yeah, remove some number here, right? In this original number. Now later part I decide this number have only 4. I want to add one more element, right? Or one more numbers, right? Hello.
Yep.
Yeah. So here lots of methods we have already learned how to add number in this array, how to remove number in array. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So for this purpose, Java already provided some set of library for us. Manually, you are don't going to create this array and put this way, right? And get the value.
Manually.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yes.
Initially, well, manually we do that first part, like
Yeah.
line 14,
Yeah.
15, 16. Yeah.
Yeah. I ask, can you add one number here? For that, we have to write one function, right? To
I
add
have
the one
created
specific
one.
number.
Right.
I want to remove this number. I want to again add new function to add numbers, right?
Right. Right.
So these are the things generally we have already covered in the array data structures. Lots
Mm-hmm.
of code we have already written. Okay, how to removing element, how to adding element, how to
Yeah.
remove the duplicate, how to
Yeah.
add the find duplicate. Lots for each kind of operations we manually as write the code, right?
Right. Right.
So now for the solving this purpose, Java say ki these are the collections of object like storing, getting, finding, right? These are general
Uh-huh.
operations. So why
Uh-huh.
not Java designer itself provides some set of functions to you, set of libraries, set of classes. Just
Uh-huh.
use those classes.
Acha, acha, acha,
Okay.
acha. Mm-hmm.
So Java uh, designer come up with a set of classes that solve all this purpose. Whenever you
Mm-hmm.
want to set of number, set of object, and do some performance. Do you want to store, you want to get, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
these are the basic operations in any software that needed. So
Mm-hmm.
why Java developer go write manually these array data structures and storing value and getting value, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they are given the simplified versions of this. So those things known as a Java collection API.
Collection API.
Son?
Ojibe, just like
Yes.
again, just like there
Uh,
is something I cannot recall.
yes, ask.
Java collection actually like API.
I'm going to explain what it is collection means.
Okay,
Okay.
sure.
Just I'm saying ki whatever that here we till now whatever we learn about this array data structure in last
Right,
couple of last classes, right?
right.
Those things for manually we have to write all the functions like add, get, remove, right?
You're right.
So Java library itself API those function for you. Just this is the classes exist. I can solve my problem in this existing classes, right?
Right, right, right.
So here I Java say this is the two kind of collections. Okay,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Java say let's this is the maybe here like we have a object one, object two, object three, any number of objects. So generally we can create the array, right? We
Right,
can create array and store all value. And someone want to get again same zero index, one index, two index, three index value, we can get value, right?
right.
So these same operations is built by the Java API. So there are two kind of basic collection frameworks. Okay, so I am going to discuss one collection framework collections. Okay, collection same as a meaning is collect of object. Yeah, collect of your numbers, collect of your float, collect of your double, any kind of things, right? Collect means ki set of number, right? Yeah, set of
Right.
object. This is
Set
the
up.
means this is the collection. So you can say like your array is the collections. Collections means they are holding some numbers, right? Holding some object. Even you can store any object, hold an object, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's create the four employee. You can create the four employee object, right?
Right.
So let us. I can create a one employee record.
Acha.
Record
Mm-hmm.
employee.
Acha.
Employee. I employee have a let's like a integer employee ID.
Mm-hmm.
I
Right.
and maybe string name and let's do y. Okay, this is the
Right.
basic.
Right.
Now this is the now we can create a multi here like in array. Now we
Mm-hmm.
can create the not integer array. I can create the employee array, right? Here say
Mm-hmm.
employees, and here say I want to go to store new employees. I want to store the three employees, right?
Acha.
So this is
Right.
the array of your employee, and here you can say I am going to store employee 0, maybe new employee ID, let's give 101 and name Sam, right? This is the one. And similarly 2, similarly 3. Multiple let's key employee we can add in this array,
Mm. True.
right? With this
Right.
different employee code, right? Name Josh, Tim,
Sounds.
right?
John. Yeah. Tim.
So in this way, and similarly, you can let's just print out the number for each
Mm-hmm.
employee. We have employee, and this is the collections, and here we can print out all the employee, right?
Acha. 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 Mm.
So in this way, we can do. So
Right.
this array data structure is fit for every kind of data types. Might be integer, might be float, might be double. You can create. Notice
Mm-hmm.
we have created this hold the three employee object, right?
Right. Right.
So these manually we are doing this. Let's keep, here I want to get one more element. I want to add one more employee. So this is very hard to us going to add one more. There is no any option. Here we can go in this employee, we can add one more.
You're right.
So last we have already discussed, if you want to just add one more element in these collections, so we have not any option, because the array have a very fixed length.
Six. Yeah.
Once you created the array of three element, only three element you can put here, right?
Yes,
Here
right.
only I have put 1, 2, and 3. I cannot put the fourth element here because index out of bound, right? Because
Correct,
we have been initialized, they have only hold the three element, right? Is it clear?
Ajay bhai, have we discussed this concept before? I know the
No,
concept we
select-
discussed, but this one, this object that you...
Yes, I think yes. We have a create array of integer, float, double, anything. Some concept, only the value change. Here integer means you are only putting the integer value, right?
Yes, yes, I remember that. But this
Here
is
double,
different.
you are only double. Float, float. Once you have we learn a class, like employee class, any class, you can, any
Yes.
object you can, right? The same thing.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So here problem generally we face, we can do, we have to know if let's say I want to add one more event, one more element here, like here. So if you let's say I want to one more element here, right? But compiler is not allowed to do here, right? Because
That's
compiler know sorry, let's see here 4 exam. Okay, and if you run, compiler is very unhappy because you are trying to add the fourth element in this existing array data structure. They have only okay out of bound, right?
Right.
That's right.
So, but we have alternative solution. We know if I want to add one more, I know the solution. Okay, initially this array data structure for the only three element. So I am going to create the new data structure, new array with a element more than one length, right? And
That's
copy
right.
all the old data in here, right? And also add the new one, right? So these things we manually going to write the code, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So lots of things for operation like add, remove, delete, get, we have to write our own function. So Java designers say these are the very highly used things, always sometime used, right? So why not Java library itself implement this array data structure in very efficient way, so that you don't worry how internally I am going to create the array length, how we can create the new array and copy the old value and return the facility, right?
Right.
Till now we have understand all the things manually. If let's say I want to remove the one element from here, so once your array created, you cannot remove any element from here, right?
Right.
Because if you want to really remove this, then we have to create a new data structure and copy only these two things which you want, and rest automatically removed, right?
Right.
That's right. Yeah.
So these things we have already covered. So all these kind of manually effort which we are doing, these are highly used data structures. So Java say I am offer all the function to you. Don't worry, you, right? So here they are created some classes. Okay, so one is the very basic class is known as your collection framework. So what is the collection framework? They have a lots of Java classes. So we are not going to cover all in every classes which API this offer. API or framework, same meaning, framework. Okay. Okay.
Sure.
Or API. So I am going to start one basic. Okay.
Okay.
So till now, these are the things we have already covered. Just I am recap. Yeah, why we are using the array data structure to holding the set of value. Array can be any types, maybe integer types, float type, double type, or any object type, right? So let's now here Java have a one concept list is the interface. Okay, and list have a method like off. Okay, and here say here you can pass any number of value, like I want to integer, so I can pass 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, right? Done. Okay,
yeah,
and you can suggest take a variable. So this is your integers of list of integer. So now not they words is the list, makes sense. This is set of integer or list. The major difference is here list can contain duplicate value. Here you can contain one more it, right? So due to the set list can contain same value or duplicate value. So here you are not saying I am going to create the list of 2 element, 3 element, 4 element, look like this syntax, same as like this syntax, right? Here we're passing all the value and saying this is the integer of array. So here we're not saying array. Here say this is the list of your numbers.
Right.
Because this integer is the primitive types and integer have not taken any function. Now instead of int here, I say list. List have a set of function. Now this is the integer class. Now here have a lots of function. Like similarly, for if you want to print all, for printing, if you notice, I just print s out numbers. You notice whenever I print, what will print? Notice here, if I am going to print this s out this number, what the output of this number? Notice, because they are printing some garbage value. Let's same thing I am doing here.
Which one you are talking about? Again,
this is the syntax and this is the syntax similar, right?
Right.
But here I can print all the numbers. Notice we are not able to print all this 10, 11, 12 number. Generally we are using the arrays.toString, right?
Right.
But here say now Java library provide this function to you, so they have implemented those method as well. You don't think now use the arrays.toString. Notice here they are printing something like this, right? They are not printing the value.
Right.
So let me first I comment these things which are the not acceptable, right?
Right. Okay.
So notice here they are printing all our values.
Right.
Here previously array data structure, by default you have to your responsibility print one by one value in the for loop, right? The one things here you can create the list of object and just print the value, or even good option you can use the for loop as well as here say this is the maybe integer int. Oh sorry, we have int number and your integer's length, and here you can say s out one by one number. Even in this way you can print directly this or this, both works fine. So generally whenever now using the your list API collection frameworks class, then you don't need to write this loop, okay? But just for printing, because by default print SOP they automatically give you, right?
So
this is the things you write this way or this, you are getting the same output here, right?
Right.
Why happen? Because this implementation already given the implementation for you. Okay, so this is the one thing. Let's see, I want to add one more number here, 2 number. So let's dot add function. Just add. I want to add number like 101, right?
Right.
And let's print our again data. Okay.
Right.
You are noticing I am getting unsupported exception.
Unsupported, yeah.
Right. Similarly, like here, I am going to add any extra element. They say ki array bound of out exception, right? So these have also. So what the benefit they offer us? Okay. What is the benefit? I want to add more element. How will do? So Java say use the different API. I have a different versions of classes available for you, right? So this is the one way. This is the one way to create the list of. Another way, okay. Another way, I want to create a list of one. Here say new one implementation, array list. Okay.
All right.
And here you can pass similarly one way, this dot add, right? This is the add element, maybe 1, right? Here you maybe 3, maybe 6, maybe 7. Any number of element you can add, even the duplicate number like 3, right?
Right.
So in this way you can create them. And notice, let's I am printing one number, and here 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice here I'm not passing any index, just passing the actual value you want to put. So here look like syntax. Here say 0 position this value, 1 position this value, 2 position this value, 3 position this value, right? So this syntax can be given now easy. Now you can just say, this is our collections. In this collection I want to add element 1, 3, 6, 8, 8, right? More user friendly, and mention the operation like I want to adding, right?
True.
And
100%.
if you run, now you can get these numbers. Okay.
Yeah.
And let's in this collection 1, I want to add one more element. Add like 98, right? And after that you can just, this API is sufficient to add the new element. Now here I'm not going to write any business logic to create a new array data structure. Notice new element is created, added, right?
Right.
Even I want to remove one element, right? So let's say integer 1 dot remove, and remove I want to remove have a 2 version. One you pass the object, one pass the index, right? Which index you want to remove, right? So here I want to remove just remove. I want to remove the 3. Okay. So the third index 0, 1, 2, third. Third with let's going to second index, right? And after that you can just print here.
Right.
So here in the set of operations, collections of object, we can easily perform add and remove operation. Notice here your one position 6 remove, right?
Right.
So there is no now your length also reduce, right? Initially length is increased, length is reduced, right? So all the operations like add in the array data structure, remove, these operations now this new class ArrayList class offer us easily, right? Till now we are just learning alternative way of your array data structure. Whatever you are doing manually here, now not using creating the news and they specify the size. Notice here I am just say create the new collections of the array list and not specify any size 10 or 20 or 5, right? Good. Let's I am going to again create the list of integer, and here say collection equal to collection 1 new array list, right?
Yep.
This is the very basic syntax. You say I am going to collections of integer number, right? And here I'm not specifying any size. If you check sout collection dot, what is the collection, and plus let's key collection dot size. Array have a method like length, here have a size method. This is the method, right? So you notice here new collection created without any data, right? This is the 0 length. And now here in the collection I want to add one element, right? Like 34, right? And after that I check, this is automatically created collection in one element and the size also increase, right?
True.
Right?
True.
And here just make a size. So one methods this collection offer to about the number of element in this collection, right?
Right.
Let's say I want to add one more. 47. It will do. So now you can just create this syntax list, new array list, and here you can add operation like add, remove. Okay. So any number of things you can do. If you want to just remove, you can remove, right? You can get. So easily you can do get and remove. Maybe I want to multiple add here, right? Multiple add, right? 7, 4, 74, right?
Yeah.
And here you can check your collection and your size. So now these operations, adding any element, new element, old element in these collections using this ArrayList API is a very easy, right?
Right.
Let's say I want to remove this 7 from. I am not going to write any custom logic, any business logic. I am simply say okay, this is I am using the Java ArrayList API. I am say this collection dot remove your elements, whatever the maybe 74. Okay, or index like 3. Okay, yeah, index 4, whatever index you want, right?
Right.
And here say after check the. So these are now very handy, very easy for adding any element in collection. Now this is the initially collections of the size 4, 5. Now you remove one. Now it's of a size 5. Right? Same thing you are doing using the array data structure. Manually you have to write the multiple code, right? So this is the basic one API is your list in the path of ArrayList. This is the API where you can, after creation of your collections, you can easily add and remove element. But another version here you can say once you created, you cannot add any new element. This is by default unmodifiable list, right? You can just create once and you can just use.
All right.
But sometime I want to create in this way, and also so you can do that this way. Another combine this and this in the single line. I want to initially pass all this number and also want to additional can be modified, right?
All right.
So you can here you also do a list of whatever the number you want, 4, 7, 8, 9, right? And this you can just add in the new array list. Array list here. Okay.
You're right.
Okay. So in this way, you can say ki I am going to the list of element, but this would be allowed to modify. If you here print, they have a 4682, right?
All right.
But now you have a concept of array list. This allow to add operation, here remove operation. This internally before not allowed. So here you can say dot add 55, right? And after that you can check your collection.
All right.
So notice now this is the added 55. Before this syntax, here we are trying to add new number.
All right.
By default, this declaration is the unmutable. Means ki once you create, you cannot add any element here, right? You can just read them. You cannot modify anything. But you really want to modification, just pass this in the ArrayList. ArrayList class allow option to add and modify option. You can combine both as well as like here, right? That means we are going to create the ArrayList data structure and passing this 4 number initially. And later, if you needed, we can add more or remove anything.
All right.
I have a question.
Yes.
If I look at this line, the first word is the name of the class, like ArrayList. What is it?
Let's list or ArrayList you can pass here. What do you mean here?
Yeah.
Already you know if this is the interface and this is the implementation class. Let's look. This is your interface.
Okay, so that's the interface.
This is the interface, right? List, and this is your implementation class. Note this is the ArrayList. ArrayList is a class. ArrayList is a class that implement your list.
Right.
Okay, okay, yeah.
So now, whatever the concept till we understand, like interface, class, implementation, all are by default this library use.
Right,
So here you can also use the ArrayList to ArrayList. It works because this is the new class. This is the new class you can do.
right, right. Just like we are opening a class before
Yeah,
we open a class
yeah,
object.
yeah. Here we are using the interface and implementation class. Here say implementation class itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Both works. We know
Mhm.
this is the new class, new object can be created, right?
Mhm.
If we have interface new object cannot create it. The implementation class we have to pass, right?
Right.
So here
In-
we pass the implementation class.
Acha, 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 acha.
And
Mhm.
But these interface are these classes you are not written, that written by the JVM for you, Java designer for you, right?
mm,
We are just using them. So
So,
one collections we have learned known as a list is an interface. List
mhm, mhm,
list is an interface,
mhm.
and array list is the implementation class. Is
Okay.
an implementation
Implementation
class.
class.
Okay.
Mhm, mhm,
So whenever you want set of object, set of number, set of double, set of
mhm,
float, in this
mhm.
context, you don't write your own array data structure. You can use this array list. Array list internally implement your array. Whatever till we have done manually, this the array things, whatever we are doing, same thing they are doing inside each class, right?
Mhm, mhm,
okay, okay,
Inside
okay.
this class, you notice this is the class. Internally, they create the array. Notice array of object. So they have implemented for you array of object, right? Notice they are creating something.
Right.
So now we don't focus ki how internally we array create, how to increase the size, how to decrease the size. All the complexity of array data structures is written inside this method array list. Now this class is given the list of method which you can just use them,
Got it.
right?
Yeah.
So this is the first basic things about array list. You can just say I am array list. I want to for integer. Just say integer. This is the list, okay, and this is the new array list. This is the simple syntax. This way or this way, both is the same thing, right?
True.
Okay. So
Yeah.
notice whenever I can create new list. So
Mhm.
internally, if they created array data structure, so initially they have implemented some concept. Okay, so don't. I'm
Acha.
not going to deep dives. Later classes will discuss how this class implemented. But this class, array list class, solve your all
Mm.
the array list problem. Whatever the
Acha.
till now before this array list class, whatever we did is in the array data structure, like add, modify, delete, get, sort, right?
Mhm, mhm, mhm. Yeah.
All these codes are implemented inside this class. The basic operation in this list we can perform like dot add, any operation, even any things you can add, right? Or you can say list dot remove. You can lots of function are available, remove all, remove if, right? Lots of conditionally exist, right? So this operation you can remove your let's key zero index value. So these operations easily available for you. So this is the syntax we have to follow, right? Array list, new array list. Here is specify the integer. Here I am going to let's say I want to for the float, right? So I'm say array list. Here say I want to float. Yeah, double, right?
Mm.
Double, and say double list, doubles, and here say new array list. Okay, here you can say add any double number, doubles. Oh, sorry, doubles dot add. Here I say 5.6, right? Here I can say 3.6. Here I can say 6.0. Here I can say, let's just 5, right? And just as out print doubles. So in this way, you can create the array of your double, array of any object. So notice here you are passing the integer number. They are expecting this is a double, right? So you are passing not integer. Similarly, here you can try to double. So here compiler and so you are declaring array of integer, that is only pass the integer. Array of double will only pass the double number, right? Is it okay?
It is.
Because this is the rule of your array data structure.
Right.
This line say, okay, this is the list one.
How did you navigate to that page, array list inside? Like, how did you see that the list is the interface name of the?
Just here, I am using the F3 definition, or you can say just right click here, and go to your declaration or usage, F3, right?
Yeah.
So just you click here, go, this is the list, right?
True.
Or you can want to here, simply right click, go to your F3. I am using just F3 keyword instead of manually go right here.
Oh, just F3. And that will take
mention a shortcut. Just note what shortcut display on your IntelliJ. F3, then F3. Here, Control F3, just implementation. If this is the interface, what is the implementation? Go to here, go here, and this is the control to implementation. So here, notice the lots of implementation this list interface have. So here, compilers list all implementation, right?
Right.
All implementation. I'm going to interested in one ArrayList. So they are the ArrayList as well, right? This is the ArrayList. ArrayList. So I'm go here, right? This is the ArrayList implement. This is list interface.
Right.
So notice if you create the ArrayList for double, you only pass the double. Same rule for here. If you notice here in the case of whole, this is the array of integer. You cannot pass like float here. You cannot pass like a float number, right? Compiler is unhappy, right? That's because this is the array of integer, you can only pass the integer, right?
Right.
So similarly, if you create the array list of double, then you only pass the double, right?
Right.
True.
So in this way, you can create the array list, list of any kind of object, integer, float, double, anything, right?
Right.
Even I can pass the list of employee. I have created one employee class. Here, employee, this is one class, right? And I say employees list, right? And here I can say new array list. So whenever here you pass the list interface, here you pass the implementation class, right?
True.
And here, now here you can say, this is my list. I am going to add the add one list. So employee, let's keep one comma your employee name. Okay, this is the one. Similarly, you can add 2, 3, 4, any number, right? 2, 3, 4. Team Joes.
Now you are adding employee list class.
Yes. So here list of employee, that means you can only add the employee object, right? You cannot add any number, like here you cannot add a dot.
Because
add. Here you cannot add
employee on the bracket.
But here I am saying key I am going to creating this list of employee, right? So you cannot add any other thing, right?
Right.
So this is the list of employee. So now we are easily create the set a list of object, right? This is the employee list, right?
Right.
So this is the basic use first data structures that is implemented by the Java library. ArrayList. ArrayList name mention this is the implementation of your array data structure, right?
Right.
as a mention name. This is the array and the list. List the interface implementers, right?
Right.
So now it's easy for you to storing number, right? So, and one things. So here I mentioned like here list of, let's integer, and I say ki num numbers num1, let's say, equal to new and array list, and this number only. What the differences between array list? I am trying to say ki array list can 1 2. What happened? So here possible you can add same value in the more than one time. Here 12 you can add more than one time, right? So this 12 number can be repeated, right? Due to this array list support the duplication. But sometime we have written a program, don't want to make any duplicate, right? Then how will do? Okay. For this, we have to go another implementation. So instead of array list, I am going to here HashSet. Oh, sorry. HashSet. And here I am not list, I am saying ki set.
Right.
So here I am going to create number 2, right? So today we have to study. Okay, sorry. 2. One data structure list allow to duplicate object, right?
Right.
And here another data structure set is not allowed to duplicate. Sometime you want to duplicate element, then you can use the array list, else you can use the list, or else you can the set. If you run here, you can find the duplicate. Same I am added here, but let's look the output, right?
Right.
Okay, yes, semicolon. So here notice, here 12 have a duplicate, but here 12 have only one time. Notice, right?
Yeah.
So this is the two kind of data structure where in one collection you want can be element duplicate, then you have to use the list, and sometime you want to collection, but in my collection I don't want to duplicate, then you can use the set. Set is the again interface, right? Set is the interface. Okay, set is the interface. And this here is interface. I cannot say new set, right? So this is our implementation class, right? Set, this is the HashSet, this is the class, this implement set, right?
Right.
So these two data structure generally we are use. One, list for collecting duplicate as element, right? Can duplicate it, non-duplicate means it's allowed duplicate, right? But another data structure set that does not allow duplicate. Here you can pass add, but they are not adding those. Why? Because notice they return, let's S out, and I just pass here this number. Just so why they are not adding, right? Okay. Just added this already we have. I'm just printing the what this output there, right? So notice whenever first time you add, it say added means return this add function return boolean value. It add function return this boolean value. If added, they return true. Not added, they return false. Means this is the set. I cannot add duplicate, right?
Right.
If you run here and check, they say true, and here say false. I'm not going to 12 again add. Notice here True, true. They say false for this false.
Right,
Because
right.
this is a duplicate. Already they found this is already exists, right?
Yeah.
So due to this nature, they are not allowing add duplicate. So these two data structures you have to do practice first, right? One is the list, one is the set. This list set is not the generic data structure. This is the Java language implemented data structure, right? This is the list is the I'm saying data structure, but this is just Java implemented array list data structure, right? Array data structure. Here set Java implemented HashSet data structure. Set is the interface. This is the implementation class.
True.
Okay, so you can create two list can be created in the this is the one way, another way. This is the another way, like here.
Right.
This is the one way, another way. If you already know this number, just say list of, right? Here you pass the number 1 comma 1 2 comma 1 2. What is this number? 12 14, whatever number you can pass. 14 and 15, right? So this two way to implement ArrayList, okay? List data structure.
Okay.
One this way, one, and this is the second way. So major difference is what? This is unmodifiable collection. Here you cannot operation add or delete, right? But here you can do add and delete this way.
But if you add array list in front of list of, then it will
allowed.
change.
Yes, it will change.
It will change.
Will, because here you can add multiple value. Here you cannot do. Here you cannot do write dot add. Here you cannot do that. Compiler force import, because this is the unmodifiable list. Means here just use for, not you can modify. Just like array data structure once created, you cannot modify, right?
Right.
So here you cannot do. This compiler throw error here. But you should know sometime I don't want to modify. This is a sufficient list, right? Right? They are throwing exception. Say ki unsupported operation, right? Means ki add cannot apply in this immutable data structure, right? So you cannot do.
Right.
Similarly for here, one way set this, another way set you can do is the to equal to similarly set off, right? Here pass your number like same 1 2 1 4 1 2 1 5, right?
Right.
So this two methodology you can create the list or set data structure, but you should aware this is the I have to notice here throwing exceptions whenever you pass this duplicate. Notice here 12 is duplicate, right? So whenever you're writing here 12 is duplicate, they are not allowed to duplicate, right? So you cannot write here 12, right? Because set is the unique.
Right.
Now, so these two variations of you can say collection. One is the collection is your list collection, which allow duplicate. Another collection is your set collection. Set collection not allow duplicate.
Now, Ajay bhai, hash and array list, they both are class.
Both are the class. Why? Because you are mentioning new class name.
But what is the list of and set of?
List of, in the interface you can declare the static method, right?
Okay, yeah.
Just go here and look the definition, right? This is the static method. Notice static method return list, and they whatever the value you pass here, they create the one list and return you. Immutable means you cannot modify the collection, right? So these are notice the list is the interface dot of, which is a function. So this function can be static because they are called from the class name, right? Interface name.
Right.
We already discussed, right?
Got it. This is the same thing we covered like
Yes,
we discussed.
already in the while the interface we can declare uh, final variable, or you can declare abstract method, or you can declare static method. So this is the
Static.
one use the static method. This is
Right.
the
So,
interface.
so under the collection, uh, under the collection, so there are set and list. Any other interface?
Till now we have studied to lots of. I'm not going to
Okay,
cover
okay,
all the things. Okay. So as of now, this go to the this is the go to the this is the collection. Finally, the collection interface. Okay. This notice this interface extend another interface. One interface can extend another interface, right?
right.
Right. So here final your this is the stop is a collection. This collection is implemented iterable, means this is the list of value, means 1 2 3 4 5. So don't more deep dive, just you understand ki whenever you're going to create the collections is the one kind of super interface collection. They have a two implementation. One is your list, right? Another is a set. As of now, let's do lots of things we are not going to cover, right? And a list is the list is interface. This is the interface. The interface we cannot use, right? Need the implementation class. This is the one implementation class is your array list, right? Array list. And similarly, this is the hash set. One hash set. So this is the new class. So you can create the object of this class. This is the interface. This is the interface. The interface you can use the static method. Right?
Yeah.
So easy as of now, just understand we have learned in the Java collection framework. One is the collection interface. This interface is a two sub interface. One is the list, one is the set. Why? List is designed for support duplicate element, right? A set is designed to support unique element, no duplicate element. So here just we discuss only one implementation, list of huge implementation here. Similarly, list of huge implementation here, right? We are not going to deep dive, okay? What are the basic use we are just going to explore, right? Is it clear? Today we have understand whenever we have a set of or collections of object or integer or float or double, you want to manage, store or get somewhere. So first we have using the primitive data types array data structure, right? We can do, or you can use Java collection framework. The Java collection framework have a one interface of collections, okay? Means collecting object. This collecting object have a two more interface like list. One is the set, right? A list is designed for the support duplicate. This is designed for not support duplicate, right? And this is the interface. The must need an implementation class. This is the implementation class. One implementation class is the array list. Array list, right? This is the implementation class, your hash set.
Hash set.
Right? So till now, today we cover these things.
Also, we learned the abstract method like list of.
List of is not abstract method. This is a static method.
Okay? Static method, yeah.
So that we can call from this interface name itself.
Okay.
So why we learn? Because this list interface, if you want to use, you have to two way to use. Because list interface, you cannot create object of list. So one is the implementation class. One is the factory method. Now it is known as a factory method. This is the method provided by the list interface itself. But this is the one drawback here. Once created, you cannot modify them. Here you created and later you can modify, add, remove all the operation you can do here. Right?
True.
But similarly in the set have a interface you cannot use directly. So we can use implementation class. Here implementation class. Here you can perform add operation, remove operation, get operation. But sometime I want to only read mode. Then you can create the factory method. Set off and pass the possible value. And this created after that you cannot remove, you cannot add here anything. But you can just use them.
Okay.
Right.
Perfect.
So till now, let's do practice of this. And What initially we cover? Sum. Okay. So whatever this operation, like till now we have covered, create the list object and add the value, and for printing, just print. And here same thing you can do. Whatever here doing a sum, same thing, the same we are doing, like different for loop right here, whatever doing. Similarly, things you can do here as well as, right? There is no operation. So tomorrow class we'll discuss how we are doing sum, filter, add, other operations, right?
Achha.
But this is the basic syntax you have to aware whenever you are going to process collections of value. Value can be integer value, employee value, float value, double value. Value can be anything. Okay.
Right.
So notice here, whenever we are writing a list interface, here type element E. E means generic. Means here E you can pass integer, float, double, anything. Right.
Right.
Till now, we have studied create the interface where what we have not discussed about this concept. Like this is the generic things. Means Java designer created list not for only specific one data type, not only for integer or float or double. They can say I'm create this list interface for the generic. Some user want to list of integer, some of list of double, someone list of employee, someone list of department object, someone list of ABCD object, right? So this syntax anywhere you found, this means that this is generic. Generic means this work for different data type, right? Maybe in later some classes we'll discuss how to write the generic. But as of now, just understand whenever I type list, open and close curly braces here, less than greater than single, that means here we have to pass the any types of list can be of any type, right? Notice here list of integer, here list of double, correct?
Right.
And here list of employee.
Yeah.
So Java designer not created different classes for you. Just say one is sufficient. Just give me the hint. This is the integer. All the operation here you can only add integer. It's double, here only you can add double. Here employee, only you can add employee. Right? The by default this implementation is provided by the Java runtime system. Okay. So you have to remember at least the two things. One is the ArrayList, another is the HashSet. Or list and set.
HashSet.
Initially, just think list and the set. Two things today we learn. What is the list?
Yes. Yeah.
List used to process, store collections of value. Set is also used to store, process the collection of value, but condition duplicate not allowed.
Got it. So this is part of the collection interface. What we learned.
Collection, yes, collection interface. Or you can say Java collection framework, collection API, whatever you say, right? Google, just say Java collections. Okay. Java collection framework interface. Just go to the official website. This is right. And here you can find all the collections frameworks, right? API is a collection framework name. And here the list of like interfaces they have set. We have discussed, right?
Right.
This is the collections of basic interface, and this is the implementation on the set. Similarly, we have a different implementation. My screen is visual. This is the this kind of basic interface. Today we discuss about this. This is the one set and this is the one list, right? One implementation here has set and one. Till now we have covered only this thing, right?
Right.
But these are other implementation as well as. Like set have one other implementation, tree set, a link has set. One interface can implement it by any number of classes, right?
Yeah.
Similarly, set is the interface, can implemented by the hash set, implemented by the tree set, implemented by the link hash set, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Similarly, list is the interface, can implemented by the array list, can implement with the link list. So these things we're not covering, right? But interface can be implemented by any class. The basic things, at least we are not cover all the things, but at least one more interface I'll cover about this map, right? What do you mean by map? Okay, that will help us to solve other cases, right? So list, set, and map will cover. Okay.
Oh, list, set, and map.
And tomorrow we'll discuss about the map, or whenever we have a time, right?
Sure.
But this is just use the Java collection framework. You find all the details available in this official website, right?
That is for the Oracle side, right?
Yeah, Oracle is the official
Acha.
website, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, always use the Oracle website, because Java is developed by the Sun Microsystem, and later part Oracle organization is take over, right? So currently,
That's
say Java language is the part of your Oracle company.
Mm-hmm.
right, right. Mm.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's
Uh,
better to use the official one because there are some other too, like Java Point.
You can use other as well as, but I'm preferring always official, but you can use anyone. There is no any difference. All other teaching, like I am teaching, I can write my blog, and whatever my understanding, I can write, right?
You're right.
Right. Okay. Okay. I see. I
So
see.
this is the whenever you are putting the different website, means they have study from these official sources, and what they understand, they written, right? Maybe very simple language, understandable language, right?
Okay. I see.
Good. So let's do some basic exploration of this, and let's coming classes we are going to do some exercise on this. Okay, like in the case of our array data structures,
Mm.
in this original here we have did lots of exercise, right?
Right. Right.
Similarly here we are going to lots of exercise using the manual for loop or using the Java stream API and the lambda function, which we started discuss, right?
String.
Stream API and lambda function, right?
Lambda function. Yeah. Yeah.
Yesterday we discussed. Once we aware about this collection framework, then lots of problem we are going to solve using this collection, right?
I see. I see. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Good. So let's do practice. This is a very basic, very simple things, and we are cover up some multiple exercise in coming days.
Okay. That's great.
Till now, any doubt, confusion?
Uh, so far, I'm putting all the dot. So far, I'm able to understand like what from yesterday's class to today's class has relationship. So
Good.
yeah.
Okay, great. So, Anis, you have anything? It's good.
Where is Anis?
Okay, no problem. I think we are good. So for the day, right?
Yes. Thank you.